the first principle they talk about is that your business is an out-of-control, cash-eating monster. And Mike's got some great stories to back that up. But if you're interested, if you've gotten this far, it's because you know that your business is eating your money. It seems like no matter what you do, there's not enough money in the bank account for you to take home the salary that you want. And we get into business with sort of the opposite as our goal, but oftentimes, and you may get into business for other reasons, but that's one of them, right? I mean, independence and better finances. And in getting started, you're willing to make some sacrifices, and that's all well and good. But there comes a point at 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 years where, or maybe later, where you say, I'm in the same place as when I started. This business is, money comes in and goes out, and there's never anything left for me. There's never enough. So that's the reality of where we're at when we start the book. And the solution that Mike comes across, and I see this in other books that have been life changers for me, is that we have to change our habits. And Mike talks about confronting reality, about the change has to come from you and the habits you make. And so there's 4 aspects that go into that. And I encourage you to request a free copy and read this chapter. I believe it's chapter 2. Really read chapter 1 and 2 because 1 sets the stage. But chapter 2 talks about, first of all, the small plates principle. And I love this. Profit first, in its simplicity and at its core, is the envelope system, but for your business. So I had already read Dave Ramsey's book. I'm trying to see it on my shelf here. It looks like I don't have a copy. But he wrote a couple books. The Total Money Makeover is the one I'm thinking of. And it's about personal finance, getting out of debt, and it talks about the envelope system and breaking down into the small plates. That's what Mike Michalowicz calls it in Profit First. So, it's applying that principle to your business. And as a small business owner, as a micro business, at the time I think I had 1 or 2 employees, that really resonated with me. Then it talks about serving sequentially, and this is the importance of, you need to pay Uncle Sam, because if you don't pay your taxes, you're going to end up in deep trouble in the long run, and putting profit first. And the importance of divvying out your money in accordance with what is really most important. And he goes into why that's most important in case you need a reminder. And he has some really good examples about that. Number 3 is about removing temptation. And so Mike has some real practical hands-on things about setting up your bank accounts that you can do very quickly. And because I read the book in the mountains of West Virginia on this weekend vacation visiting some friends and needed to get back to town to take those steps, I knew if I could just get into the bank, if I could just get online, in an hour I'd be good to go. So I loved how simple it was because it made sense to remove that temptation. And then number 4 is key, and that's enforce a rhythm. So Mike's book is really good about getting the ball rolling very quickly and then getting you in a rhythm. In this case, it's a bi-weekly and a quarterly rhythm that work together. So I loved how simple it was.